This podcast may contain views and opinions which are those of the hosts and do not necessarily reflect the official policy or position of any local agency, organization, union, employee, or company, including the podcast.
Well, welcome back, everybody. Thank you guys for tuning in. Another week.
Welcome back.
We apologize about last week. Cheers. But we apologize about last week. We just honestly needed a little bit of a break. And we were supposed to put something out on social media, but somebody dropped the ball.
I think two people did. We both did.
It happens. Yeah, it happens. We kind of dropped the ball on putting something out on social media, but we just wanted to, we took a little vacation. A lot going on with the UPS contract, which we're not going to talk about this episode.
Nope.
Okay? So unless somebody brings it up about how much money the UPSers are making, which George is
I might have to step
benefiting
off.
from that,
I might have to step off.
But I'm not. But yeah, we just wanted to apologize for not putting out an episode last week, but we did take a much needed break. We're back, refreshed, ready to go. Thank you guys for tuning in every week. Please like, share, subscribe. We always say that during the show. And without further ado, we have some returning guests. Super excited for this week. Gary Brockett, go ahead and say it.
That's me.
Go ahead and say it.
Fuck Savas.
Yeah. Yeah, there you go.
I'm in his seat right now.
So real quick.
Right here.
So
You got to remold
Gary
the
Brockett.
ass seat.
Alex
You got
Ramirez
ass mold
is
in there.
here. Both returning guests, CVS Teamster members.
Is he really a returning guest, or is he gunning for Sabas' co-host?
He might be on
the
the
show.
show official.
I mean, be honest.
You know what?
Be honest. Does it feel bad? Does it feel good to sit there?
Yeah, it feels great.
Yeah.
I feel like I'm the guest, and I'm sitting here with the three
You know what?
hosts.
I usually gravitate to this side
Sit
for
in the
some
guest
reason.
seat.
But knowing that Savas isn't here today, I was like, I'm going to take a seat. And by the way, that was a great
a host
intro.
seat.
Forget what he says.
Oh,
I think it's great.
Thank you very much. I appreciate that because Sawas doesn't like that intro. But anyways, so what's going on, guys? How you guys been? How's
Good,
everything?
good. Everything's going great,
Yeah?
Yeah, everything's going good, There's a little bit of shakeup at CVS.
Well, let's get an update on CVS. It's something we haven't talked about in a while.
Yeah, that was,
CVS members, give a shout out to you guys.
Definitely.
Thank you guys for tuning in. I hope these guys are sharing the word. But it takes you guys out there to share, whether you're sharing it on your social media, whether you're sharing it, verbally. Please share. Shout out to CVS management. We know you guys are watching.
Yeah, definitely.
But why don't you guys give us an update, dude?
Well, first off, main shout out to our main guy that's always watching every week, Antonio Arizon, the guy who won the.
Big Tone.
Yeah,
Big Tone.
Yeah,
Who won the jacket last week.
Yeah,
he
gave us the shout out. When we want to return the favor, give him the shout out. I know he's listening. There was a big ass shakeup over there at CVS. I mean, I wouldn't say it caught us sideways, but at the same time it did. I mean, the director and the morning shift manager got terminated or let go.
Really?
They're no longer with the company, and it was not blindsided, but I mean, it was just it shook a lot of shit up over there.
It was definitely was it?
Look, we can bleep out whatever you guys need to bleep out. But is what happened?
So,
are you guys even allowed to talk about it? I don't even know.
I don't see why not.
I mean, what I've discussed with our BA and stuff. I mean, that probably I can't. It's just that was between me and him, and because I had talked to him about it the night it happened, and I walked in and all the supervisors were all shook, and I mean I was like, we're all like, what's going on? What's going on today? So then I walk in and one of the supervisors, she pulled me aside. She said, "Hey, I wanted to, tell you first, but we're making the announcement, and you can bleep out the names, and no longer with the company." I was like, "What the fuck?" And then I was like, "What happened?" They're like, "They're just no longer with the company."
That's just not a good enough excuse. You need to tell me the reason.
Yeah,
well,
I mean,
we could probably talk about the reason. I think I know what the reason is.
At the end of the day, they don't really have to tell us. I know that on with UPS, they don't ever tell us what they do with management, and they're really
I guess that's fair.
tight-lipped about it. That's their ship
That's
as
their
far
ship,
as
I guess.
in the same respect, like we've
But
had.
there should be some respect
we've
because if
had-
you work with them on a daily basis, it's like, dude.
I get that, but look, this is the way I look at it. We've had stewards removed, stewards step down. We've had business agents step down. And that's our business. It's internal. That's Teamster business. You don't need to worry about it. That's union stuff. So I kind of take the same position. If they don't want to tell us, it is what it is. I mean, we can always make speculation, but if they're kind of that's just how I look at it.
The speculation is, though, I mean, talking with a few supervisors about it, and the whole warehouse is probably assuming the same thing. Is what led up to that was recoup. So in the warehouse, recoup.
I'm not smiling that they got fired. I'm smiling because it's like that's my job.
And it says,
you do recoup?
and it's the honest truth.
Why.
Because
we got to go back a little bit, and I don't mean to cut you off.
Yeah.
But what exactly is recoup?
So recoup is like the stuff that falls underneath the racks or like that gets lost and then like they get found, so then it gets scanned.
Oh, okay.
And it's putbacks. I think that's a better way to put
Okay.
it. Simplest way.
Yeah.
Putbacks. They scan it. They put the location. I put it back on the rack. It's up standard,
But is this stuff that, like, say it's been lost for a while, like they already wrote it off?
No,
because I know
Like it's out of cycle.
No.
No.
Like it's still in inventory, and that's
Okay.
that's the issue. Like it's been in inventory, so sometimes they have to mark stuff out because they can't find the stuff.
Yeah.
And so for I signed it 2 years ago because it was like for high seniority. Like we fought, the stewards fought for it. Like this is before me. The stewards fought for it. These guys, Gary was one of the main ones fighting because they were getting the favorites, the lower seniority guys to go put the stuff back. But then we said no, high seniority got to do it. So then we negotiated with the company. We got it as an actual bid, but the subsection of it was if there's no work, which there always is you got to go select. You got to go back into the selection pool. The thing with us though, we're in the midst of a bad what's the word I'm looking for? Where we couldn't keep retention. Our retention rate was so bad at the time. So and it was during COVID. We're doing like 10+ hour shifts, Saturdays. So when I signed the bid, at the time, a bunch of high seniors were doing it, but they hadn't selected in 10+ years, so they couldn't make it. So they'd give up the bid, go back to their cushy jobs or whatever other jobs they were doing. I just threw my name in the hat one day, and I got it. And I hadn't selected in 4 or 5 years. And so then I walked in, and management thought this guy ain't gonna keep it because it's back in selection. Mm-hmm. I walked in and I said, if I get it done in one day, we call it even. I'm retrained and I can go to recoup. Said, yeah. Sure enough, they put me in the hardest fucking module. They put me in the hardest fucking section. I walked out of there with the 105%, and I said, nice. Call it even. So then, for the past 2 years though, I haven't been able to do my job. I've just consistently been selecting. They've been able to take me off. I got the BA involved in it, because all of us in the department were getting.
Who's been doing recoup then?
Nobody was doing it.
Nobody on our shift, at least, nobody was doing it.
And that was the issue. So all of us, it's only our department's really 3 of us. So it's like 4 of us now, but we were getting pulled off into selection for 2 years, and it was getting pretty bad. Like I would go weeks on end without doing my bid. Finally we all brought it up to the BA. He came in, and one of the upper management sat down with us and said, like, hey, your job's really not that important. Like, it's not really putting forward to what the company needs. It's not really a company need. And so, like, I bit the bullet. So I said, all right, screw it. I was like, I got my answer. And then
the recoup portion is what you're saying. They were saying that's not.
It's not. Yeah, it doesn't service the front store. So it's like it's not like stocking, not like cherry pick, forklift. It doesn't service the front store. So your job, not that it's not important, but it's not a necessity at this moment.
It's more internally important. Okay. Rather than
exactly.
And it led up to this whole situation.
Yeah, and so
big time.
So our BA was telling us at the time, was like, well, we could do one other thing, which is like send it out to morning shift, because morning shift was doing it. But the deal with between mornings and nights is morning shift scans all the shit, night shift puts it away. They weren't letting us put it away, so it was getting backed up inside the modules, backed up. It was getting building. They would even call a couple Saturdays to go put shit away because they wouldn't want to let us do it during the week. So then finally, now this is the rumor, and this is what I'm going to go with what I've heard, and with a bit of fact, what was they were noticing, I'm assuming corporate was noticing that there was a lot of inventory that was missing, and a lot of inventory that was unaccounted for, and a lot of stuff that was getting lost. and a lot of money was lost in it. And I could throw out numbers, but I don't know the truth. Like, I mean, like some people say it was like $1 million a year, $2 million a year that was getting lost. But the biggest breaking point was our trucks were going to move from gas to electric, right? And then so they came out and they started checking out.
All your trucks are going to electric?
Yeah.
Yeah.
All your delivery trucks?
Allegedly. I mean, that's what we're hearing. They've already cleared out a space over on the loading side of our warehouse where they're clearing a space for the chargers.
Yeah.
Like you can already see it. Like they're already.
They must have a lot of money because, to be honest, working for a delivery company, one of the biggest, ours looks at profits and ROI, right? They're looking on return on investment. So I just don't think they're there yet because we've gone a little bit natural gas, a little bit hybrid, a little bit. Electric. I think they did do some electric, but at the end of the day, the ROI isn't there yet. Yeah. So if your company's going all electric, they're bleeding money.
Well, I don't know if it's going to be all electric right off the rip, but they're definitely bringing in quite a few trucks.
Maybe like a small fleet.
Like maybe a small fleet just to test it out and see how it goes. But knowing CVS and how they operate, I know for sure they're not going to just
jump all in
and put all electric.
You shouldn't. I mean, in all honesty,
from a company standpoint, I don't think that would even be smart. But
I don't run the company, but I wouldn't.
So what it was is that they were, I guess, someone had to come down and check all the empty containers. And like I said, this is speculation. I don't know the fact on this one, but this is what I heard.
Rumors.
So, the rumor. This is
George. Put a thing that says
rumors. But what I heard was they came down and they were checking all the empty containers that were out there in the yard, but they found 7 of them that were closed up, and but there was nothing built that was in there. So they said, no, let's fucking open it. They opened it up, and sure enough, it was 7 containers full of fucking recoup from the past.
All the recoup?
So get this. Now, this side of the story is the funny part because so I'm a forklift operator. We're doing our 8 hours, right? So they would ask for volunteers after our 8th hour, like, hey, anyone want to stay 10? So a lot of us fork operators were doing a lot of the recoup scanning over in the back of the warehouse. So we're pulling these pallets of recoup, just tons of recoup, that's just been sitting there for, we're talking years.
Yeah.
I'm scanning stuff.
How often do you guys do
Listen to this. Listen to this.
They were putting it off.
Listen to this crazy stuff right here. So I was scanning these boxes, right? And all these guys, we're doing our job scanning. And a lot of the stuff was expired. So if it's expired, we had to put it on a separate pallet, right? Especially the food. I was getting expiration dates, no bullshit. And if any managers are listening, this is all truth and fact because they know. I was getting stuff from pre-COVID. Like we're talking 2018, 2017. So that's actually recoup that was probably from 2015.
So how often do you guys
based
do
on shelf life, right?
How often do you guys do inventory?
They try to do it. I believe Victor, our other shop steward, he's part of that. I believe they do it every 6 months, right?
Yeah, every 6 months they'll do it.
I believe.
So how does it get so out of hand where now you have recoup for 5 years back?
Well,
that's the part that doesn't make sense to me.
Well, see, like I said, the rumors that were flying around and I mean, I kind of talked to a couple of people up there, and what it was is that the guy was letting it go for a couple of years, never really keeping on it, and then finally during COVID,
then that's management, like the
upper,
manager.
upper.
But he had to be fudging numbers because look, I worked in a warehouse.
That's an dial back to him.
And when we were bad on numbers, we had to do inventory once a quarter. When we were good, like really good for consistently, then we would bump it down to every 6 months. But I mean, they had to keep inventory on all this stuff, all the stuff that was missing product, that was not in the bins, not where it was supposed to be, like what you would say, the recoup.
And we get a lot
Let's
of that.
say they hadn't found it yet. Maybe there was a missing pallet. Yeah. There was like a missing pallet of like diapers because I worked at a medical supply company. They were fucking all over the place. Yeah. They're like, 1 pallet is missing. Like, what the fuck? Like, you guys are saying there was 7 truckfuls or shit.
Yeah,
And stuff that was
and they
years
had the
back?
loaders like me, or
there had
not,
to be some
not
some
the
number
loaders.
fudging.
They were plugging in trailers on the loading side of the warehouse and having fork operators go and unload these trailers. So when I asked, I'm like, hey, I thought the recoup was cleaned up because it got to the point where we didn't see anymore. And our foreman for the forklift department was like, oh no, we got like 7 or 9 trailers left in the back. So me and another fork operator, we drove over there and we're unloading trailer, like 50 footers, which they're put it straight in, which I mean, straight in, correct me if I'm wrong, if any loaders are watching, it's like, I think 24 pallets that can fit straight in without the pinwheel and all that stuff. And we're talking full pallets though, like to the roof. Some of them would be short, but a lot of them. So I'm like, dude, this isn't good. So that's when we started scanning, and man, we're like, we're just wasting money here, like scanning, and then it's expired.
I mean,
and
that was for the director. I mean, from what I heard, that was the reason why the director. One of the reasons. There's a couple more other reasons, but that was one of them. The morning shift manager, from what I heard with him, was he was walking up and telling some of the recoup people, like, hey, like if it expires within, I think it was 2020. What I believe, yeah, it was 2023. Saying if it has an expiration of 2025, because he thought in his, I'm assuming he thought in his head they weren't going to get to it. If it has an expiration date of 2024, 2025, toss it out. So he was dumping a shit ton of stuff that was still good. And
what the fuck?
Yeah, so that caused a lot of stuff, but I mean,
we got exposed to it because it was hidden from us. And this is a known fact that the union, like the stewards at CVS, we've been fighting for this recoup stuff for the longest time. So it's facts, it's out there, so we can talk about it, you know. And every meeting we've brought it up. Yeah. We need to get this recoup done, but you're not allowing our guys to do it, and they would just
kind of stash
just
it away.
kind of sweep it under the table, whatever. And then all of a sudden, one day we come in on a Wednesday and we're getting blindsided with this news that the director's been terminated, and then the morning shift.
Crazy.
Yeah.
And in my head, it's like I feel bad because even for supervisors, you don't want anyone to lose their job.
You definitely
because
don't want to, but if there's a certain amount of negligence there, then they should be.
Yeah.
It's warranted, but like,
and in my head, it's just, I mean, you guys did it to yourselves.
You did it to yourselves. It's like, dude, just do the fucking work. Just fucking log everything in every 6 months. 6 months is a reasonable amount of time for you to log everything in.
Yeah, and it was like when the news broke out, like, I mean, we had like a bunch of people celebrating it, like saying like, oh, these dudes got fired. Fuck yeah, you know, like, it's about time we got a shake up here. Us as stewards, me and Gary, like mainly, were like, we started putting out that message, like it's not something to be happy about. Like, I mean,
definitely not.
Yeah, it's not something to be happy about because at the end of the day, like, look, it sucks to lose your fucking job, whether you're a manager or you're a Teamster, fucking sucks. But at the same time, it's like now we don't know what the fuck's going on, and that's what I started telling everyone: don't celebrate yet because we don't know what's going on. And guess what we have now? We have fucking corporate down over there, running the show,
lingering for the next 90 days.
Yeah, and here's the worst part:
they're watching everything.
So
exactly.
we're on a four tote system. Like, you get a batch cart, it has 4 totes to be able to select 4 stores. Now, upper management and and the supervisors team on the floor have been lenient for like the last couple of years, like since we've gotten it, saying go ahead and just do 2. You know, I don't want to say they agree the time's bad, but they know the time's more doable if it's 2 totes or 2 stores. Yeah. So they've been lenient on it. Well, corporate's here now, and they're saying 4 stores, and I got members coming up to me like, dude, well, I can't make my time. Well, why all of a sudden? I'm like, no, it's been a fucking company policy to do 4. That just the old regime was okay with it.
That's what worries the stewards because...
Yeah, because like now shit's hitting the fan with this new regime or whoever's in charge right now, and it's like now they're going to go by the fucking book, very tight-knit, and I wouldn't say, I'm not going to say we were cushy for the last couple of years, but... Right now that they're enforcing a lot of shit.
With that EWS, is there progressive discipline?
Yeah.
That comes along with that?
Yeah.
Progressive discipline.
So you guys, I mean, and I hate to bring up the UPS contract, but like, you know, we have, I guess what some would consider EWS or just standards, period. What we call them,
work standards.
Yeah, we call them, you know, it's our over-under, it's our SPOR. Yeah. There's a bunch of different things that kind of play into that. SPOR is like packages delivered per hour, blah, blah, blah. Mm-hmm. So we have all that, but at the end of the day, we have language in our contract that doesn't hold us to their standards. In fact, our wording is a fair day's work for a fair day's pay.
Yes.
So as long as you're not fucking around out there, you're not like stealing time or dicking off, whatever. You don't have to adhere to their standards. They push them pretty hard, and they harass people about them, and they mess with you. But at the end of the day, it's a fair day's work for a fair day's pay. So as long as you're not, like I said, you're out there dicking around, you're good.
Yeah.
They have to catch you stealing time, basically.
Yeah.
So that's a tough one, dude. That's a big one to get over.
I mean, I'm not gonna lie, it's been pretty hard because I mean, like during COVID, we've had people. I mean, not people. We've had the managers like get more lenient as well, like because our standard is 95. It's minimum 95%, and that I mean, from 100% standard, 95 is the minimum you can hit. Anything under 95, you get written up. But for a time, they were being lenient and letting people go under 95 as long as you were above a 90%. And they moved it down. So recently, in a write-up meeting, one of the guys comes up, gets written up. He's at an 89%. He denies the steward. And I'm walking up, and I just so happen to have my steward shirt on. He's one of the newer guys, and says, "Hey, you're a shop steward, right?" I'm like, "Yeah." He's like, "Let me ask you a question. Why aren't you out there telling people that the standard is under 95?" And I said, "Why would I set you up to fail?" I was like, me that has had a recoup bid for the past 2 years. I've been selecting more than I've been doing my fucking bid. And I was like, in the 2 years that they said like, "Hey, you can hit under a 95," I kept it above a 95 because why? At the end of the day, I don't need someone giving me shit because tomorrow they can say, "Hey, it's back up to a 95" and write you up. And he goes, "Well, the supervisor said," I'm like, "The supervisor shouldn't be telling you that." And so then the next day we walked in, I happened to walk in with them, and he's sitting right there, and he asked the supervisor that, "Well, why aren't you telling the people that they can go under a 95? I sat there and I raised my hand. I'm like, I got the answer. I'm like, because at the end of the day, if she sits there and says, "Hey, the standard's under a 95, but then and then corporate comes in and says, "No, it's at a 95, you get written up and you say, "Hey, she said I could." Well, I'm going to hold her accountable, and she's smart enough not to say something like, "Hey, it's under a 95. She's gonna say like, "Hey, they could tell you, "Hey, we're being pretty lenient right now," but I don't know how long that's gonna last.
And they might not have it right now, but I know for a fact that eventually they will have it where corporate can either pull those reports or just figure out what managers are allowing people to go under in what buildings or whatever.
Yeah.
And it will come. It's with UPS now at this point where, upper management will pull reports like, "Hey, these guys aren't meeting these numbers, or these guys are being unsafe in these areas." Because we are, believe it or not, I know we just talked about the fair day's work for a fair day's pay, but we are some of the most observed workers out there. We have GPS on everything. We have time standards for everything. Yep. We have, our spore that we need to hit. We have our mileage that we need to hit. We have cameras. We have, literally everything. They have a thermometer up our ass. They know our temperature. I'm telling you, it's absolutely everything. So it's only a matter of time before management, let's say cool management or whatever that understands like, "Hey, I don't want to kill my workers or whatever." Yeah. They get put in a spot where, they get a call, and let's say like you for example, that supervisor you were talking about, she gets a call, and all of a sudden upper management's up her ass, and now she would allow you to go to 85, but now she has to go back up to 95.
Yeah.
Because she doesn't have a choice anymore because that stuff's visible. So it's only a matter of time, and really, if you can be, brought into progressive discipline for that, you don't have, especially as a steward, you should never tell anybody you can go under 95 because the standard is 95, and that's what corporate would write you up on. That's what the language in the contract says or whatever, and that's what you got to go off of.
Yeah, I know me and Gary have been asked that question, like, "Hey, is standard still under 95? And I know Gary's gotten that question a couple times. Will I get written up if I don't hit a 95? And we answered the same way. The standard is a 95. You should hit a 95. But they're being lenient right now. I don't know. Maybe tomorrow they could change it. So keep it at a 95. But
don't sandbag it either.
Well, we had kind of like the same scenario with UPS in regard to lunches.
Oh, yeah.
Right? Yeah. So forever, and I'll be the first one to say it, but forever people were allowed to work through their lunch.
Yes.
Lunch is unpaid. Breaks are paid. Right? So me as, when I was younger, I would always not take my lunch, and I would take my breaks for sure because those were paid. My lunch was unpaid, so I just didn't take it. I'm like, I'd rather spend that unpaid time with my family. So I understand the argument.
Yeah.
at the end of the day, UPS about a year and a half ago,
about a year and a half
ago said, no, everyone needs to be taking their lunches. And from a union standpoint, we have to agree. We bargained lunches. People fought and died, literally.
On that hill.
Fought and died in previous strikes and previous, labor actions to get lunches, to get 5-day work weeks, to get these things.
There are some locals that have a less than a 30-minute lunch period.
Yeah. So, as a local, we would never argue for you not to take your lunch. But it was just so ingrained in these people. They're like, well, I don't want to take my unpaid lunch. I just want to go home. The company just changed just like that and started disciplining people. And we had to tell people, well, at the end of the day, the language is the language. You got to take your lunch.
Yep.
So stuff changes. Yeah. You might have cool management now. You might have lenient, more lenient management, whatever. Stuff can change real quick. So we really got to know what the book says, what the contract says, what the standards are, and we got to kind of play by the rules. Yeah.
With corporate poking around now in the warehouse, I think a lot of that's going to go away. Lube. And people and people don't realize it, and
corporate's here.
I mean, corporate's here, which I haven't seen him really. I only saw him once on my shift, but if I ever see him, I definitely got a bone to pick with them.
And not to talk shit, but they actually do look like they're from Rhode Island. You see them walking around like they're.
Is that where headquarters is?
Yeah, Woonsocket, Rhode Island.
You can distinctly tell, like even if they're like wearing regular clothes, like. Nah,
you can tell they're
from the California state in the union.
Yeah, you can always tell a warehouseman versus
your
a
state
supervisor.
Is about as big as my city.
You can always tell a difference between a Teamster and a supervisor.
Oh yeah, for sure.
So yeah, if you saw him out in the street, you probably point him out and be like, "Oh, that guy's definitely a manager for sure."
Speaking of cool managers, let's give a shout out to Dazed and Confused, who does listen to our.
Shout out to you. I hear you're pretty cool. I don't know who you are. Apparently, you know who I am.
Thanks for watching.
Cheers. Thanks for watching the show.
And we're finally going, and I guess another update to steer from the whole management thing, but is we're finally going to voice pick in 2023.
Really? Are we actually doing that?
I think so. Alonzo, our warehouse manager for our shift, he told me the other night that, I think in the end of September. Could be wrong. If he's watching, he can correct me on, the next day, on Monday.
Stuff changes too.
But, yeah, I think we're actually going to go to the voice pick, which is funny because it's 2023.
It's funny. We're
still on paper orders at a tablet.
12 years ago, when I worked for that company, that medical supply company, I actually was in management at the time. Believe it or not. I know, I'm sorry. But, I was in management at the time, and I was I was responsible for kind of building that EWS for...
Oh, we'll get to that. We'll get to that.
Oh, you're giving me shit last time. Being a supervisor, that's good.
No, hey, I didn't mean to cut you off. Sorry.
No. It's fine. Right. No, I just, I was kind of involved in doing that. So right when I left, and this was, like I said, 12, 13 years ago, we had just got the voice pick. So, that's old technology.
Yeah, it's weird.
So we're going backwards then? Is that?
That's what I feel like.
Is there any benefits?
Is there anything different than voice pick now, though? What?
We had scan for a long time, SKUs and scan. I worked in there while kind of all this technology was implemented. So I worked before when we had, obviously you have SKUs, but not digital. So everything was on paper. I worked picking off paper. Then I did scanning. So we got the little ring scanners, and we got a system called like Red Prairie. I think at the time they were a big warehouse WMS system, warehouse management system.
I forget what it is now or what we're running on.
So we had them. We did that, and then we went from that whole scan thing to voice, and they wanted to build the standard. So I was actually part of that because I was really quick at picking. So we started doing voice, and that was right after I left. They ended up getting bought out. The company I worked for ended up getting bought out by a bigger company.
Oh, shit.
So you were the fastest picker? So their company engineers probably did their baseline off of John.
They did. So look, I'll be honest.
And this is how everyone's supposed to work.
This is, I will say, look, when I was young,
200% pace.
when I was young, I've always had like a really
Can't be doing
strong work ethic. I always have. And
No, that's good though. That's
I can
good.
vouch for that.
It's just
good.
really, that's how I was young. And
Teamsters have strong work
I
ethics,
agree.
by the way.
So,
It's nice to see my number 2 here.
Because,
But it does take 6 Teamsters to screw in a light bulb, though.
It does.
I'll tell you that.
So, yeah, they came in and I was really quick. Actually, the way I got into management, it was funny. It's kind of a funny story. The way I got into management, because I was always real ambitious. I wanted to like move up, and I was stuck in picking, and I was really, really fast, and I would do just about, I know this sounds fucking crazy, but I would do just about twice as much as everybody else during the day. So we would pick, and we would pick on paper, and I started every day. I would take my numbers, like all my picking stuff, all my orders, and I fucking tape them to my boss's window, my manager, and I would be like, yeah, I do twice as much as everybody else. Let me know when you're ready to give me a fucking promotion. And I did that for probably a good month and a half, and then he finally was like, all right, dude, like, what the fuck, you know? And I was like, well, I fucking do twice as much as everybody else. I want to fucking be a lead or whatever. So it's funny because I worked for UPS at the time, but I was in charge of the UPS crew, so we picked all the UPS orders. So I was in charge of like 5 guys, and then I moved up from there and went into like management. By the time I left and went driving, which still paid more. Paid more to be a Teamster and to get the benefits. So those of you guys out there,
That are managers watching the
pays to be
show,
a
get on the
Teamster.
right side of the
to be a
fence.
Teamster.
Get on the right side of the fence.
But that's a little story about myself.
All right, I didn't know. I didn't know
let's
you were a
do,
manager.
Can we go back to the voice pick? Can you explain how the system works?
So the voice pick was, it actually would read instructions, and I don't know how yours works, right? But it would read
I haven't
instructions
seen
to
anything
you.
yet, but-
You'd have a headset on, it'd read instructions to you. Skew F16. So you roll up there, 3 pieces, and then you'd
Say
roll
confirm.
up, and then it has like a check code.
Yeah, the
or whatever.
check digit, then you
read the
confirm
check
it.
digit, boom, 3 pieces. Grab the 3 pieces, throw them in the tote, boom, and then it reads you the next instruction. So it was literally the same thing before. When you did it, you would roll up, and you'd have like a little
Yeah, the
like a
fucking
digital,
digital band.
monitor, and
Yeah.
it would tell you F16, 3 pieces, and then you'd go and you'd scan it, and then you'd put 3 pieces, whatever, grab the 3 pieces and throw them in there, and then
In
move
your
on.
personal opinion, which do you think is more efficient?
Honestly, I thought the scanner was more efficient. I was tasked to show that the headset was more efficient. That was their whole thing. Like, oh no, we need this to be faster.
So you had to be a manager.
we need
and
this.
show
Yeah. So you
Oh,
just do that.
okay.
No,
All right.
I'll be 100% honest with you. That was the whole task. Like, you need
Not
to make
cutting
this.
that.
You need to make this look faster. So I was like, fuck, okay. So that's what I ended up
Now,
doing.
is it
That's
true?
why That's why they needed you.
I've done all 3. Like one of my first jobs, and Eric, if you're watching, this is a good one. Because I worked at the 99-cent store warehouse in East LA.
Really?
They have one. Yeah. The thing with them, I did the voice pick with them, and theirs was I'd get a headset, get a little monitor in my back right here, and it would just tell you go to F16, something like that, and it said pick 3 cases. So I'd pick the 3 like sodas, Shastas, whatever, and say confirm, confirm. But then you sit there, and I see like half the guys confirm.
Yeah.
Confirm.
Yeah, it did.
There's going to be a lot of that, I know for
That's like
sure.
Yeah, what about people with accents? They're like, confirm.
Hey, so is it true if you have those headsets, the supervisors can listen in on you?
I've never heard that, but I'm sure they
I'm
have the
sure
technology
they can.
now.
Yeah.
They-
This
Well,
was back in the day.
I'm
Come
pretty
on,
sure they
it's like
can.
the Paranoid Art Warehouse. Like,
I mean, we
I'm
were
pretty
just
sure-
getting into cell phones at that time. So.
No, I mean, you can get the Paranoid Art Warehouse because we got tablets on our carts. So if you walk down one of the modules, you're gonna see everyone get like the little piece of a label.
Oh, and tape
tape the camera.
the camera,
because
yeah.
they don't want them to see it. I'm
they
like,
they do that at UPS too. You've seen when people do
I've
the
seen
little.
people do that, and yeah, but they get in fucking trouble for doing
can get
that.
fired.
You can get fired for
shit.
that.
Yeah, for tampering.
For
Wow.
tampering.
Yeah.
They get you
Tampering?
for tampering.
so that says that they are watching you then, right?
So my biggest issue with that is like, okay, so you're saying that camera doesn't work. So who gives a fuck if I cover it up then?
But they're saying it's not a camera; it's a sensor.
No. The sensors are the 2 fucking bars on the side. There's 2 bars on the side, cameras in the middle. So it's like,
yeah, well.
Yeah, and then I've done
does it matter then?
But those of you guys that know that you don't have to actually touch the camera. If you put 2 info notices on the edge of your visor, it'll cover the camera. Just saying. I did it for a while, so I could never get in trouble for
if I could leave that in.
touching the camera. But I'm not telling you to do it. I'm just saying I did a lot of crazy shit.
So wink, wink.
And a nod.
Educational purposes.
I gotta take a leak. Well, we're back from our break.
Yeah, Mike's a
Shit. I kind of need the mic.
A little bit.
So we're back from our break. Just kind of talking about the EWS, right? We're talking about the different tools that they've used through we went from paper, we went, to the scanners, now the voice, which they think is faster. I don't think it's faster. They made me prove that it was faster, but
we'll find out.
But I mean, let's kind of talk a little bit about what's next.
Yeah, so like I said, I was saying that I did the voiceover one, which sucked ass, and the next one would be the old warehouse where I was a manager at, like we were talking about. That one was you'd get a scanner, you'd walk around.
Two managers on this one.
2 managers and 2 Teamsters, right? So you'd walk around the warehouse and you'd go to a location. And it's how you go, but you'd have a piece of paper, and you'd cross off the location that you got there. But in the scanner, you'd have to scan in. Say I needed 3 brake pads of a certain weight or whatever.
Yeah.
So I'd scan 1, 2, 3, or you'd be like me, just grab 1, scan 1, I got 3, accepted the 3.
Yeah.
That sucked, but like that standard there was not really a standard. It was more like you had to do 400 lines, and lines was you go to one location, that's 1 line. So
which doesn't make sense because you could have 3 pallets that's for weird. 1 line.
Well, I mean, yeah. Or the second thing was either 400 lines or 1,000 pieces, 700 pieces a day for the pallet jack people was 400 lines or 1,000 rotors a day. So, I mean, because rotors over there, you'd go over there, you go to one location, pick fucking 25 of them real quick right off the bat, so you'd be in there. That one kind of sucked. I mean, but it was easy. I got that one down. That's how I moved up. I was like John over there posting up my shit saying like, hey, I'm doing it. So I was moving up and stuff. So then I got to CVS, and then I learned the EWS over there. And that one was that you scan it in and you'd go down and stuff, and it'd measure the time for you of how long you had to do it. Honestly, I think that's the better one. I mean, even though now we're on the tablet, I don't think Gary ever got trained on that one.
No, I never experienced a tablet. I've been out of that department for like 6 years. So,
and honestly, I mean, I could sit there and I could tell.
See how he said that all? I've been out of that fucking department for like 6 years.
Yeah, I left that long.
We're moving on from that, and
moving on from that. I got on a forklift.
So my argument as before a steward and during a steward, now being a steward is I still say the single card's better, but management's gonna tell you that the 4 system is better because you're gonna cut the travel time in half and you're gonna pick as much more, but the accuracy is gonna go to shit. Is what I feel.
So you guys have QCers too?
Yeah, all that shit.
So I did that too. You would move, you'd be like a picker or whatever, and then QCer sometimes or whatever. I don't remember how we did that by seniority or whatever, but it would be a QCer, and then you check, and then you're like, you fucked up. Look at all these fucking mistakes you made. That was
we got that, and it sucks because I mean, not to knock on the 3 guys that are doing it, but it kind of sucks. You got 3 guys that are auditing. They're called auditors. Not to knock on them, like because I'm not gonna put out there a lot of stuff, but I mean, 2 of those guys are like really good at it and stuff. One guy is actually too good at his job right now, like because we're going through a bunch of accuracy shit right now at the warehouse, but and it sucks because they're Teamsters. Like you're putting yourself in front of if these people get hit with the accuracy. Yeah. But then again, you don't want someone that's corporate to do it.
Yeah, exactly. You want the Teamsters to be there
so
doing that.
That's like a double-edged sword.
It is.
That's why I would never take that bid.
Yeah, no, I thought about it.
I would never take it.
I thought about it, but I
couldn't have that weight on my shoulders.
Oh, I know. I thought about it, but I know I'd get fired within the first month because everybody that I'd audit would be 100%. Yeah.
Like, how are all these guys 100%?
100. Started like 2 weeks before, Gary or Alex got this bid. Everyone was like below 100%, but now they're like...
Everyone was at like 75, 80, and now everyone's at 100.
Everyone's perfect.
So, I would just say we're just getting a lot better.
We're progressing, sir. We're progressing.
So
That's what you want, right?
What's cool about that now is from the night shift side. I know there's the members. I mean, stewards in the morning shift, and this is the biggest shout out of the show is for Eric Jimenez and James Lopez for having me, Gary, and Victor. We're going to be attending a class from the IBT to learn about the EWS, what it is, how to understand it.
Nice.
James has pulled me and Gary aside before and pulled us to a meeting for the EWS. Remember that one?
Yeah.
And I mean, when I tell people, like, it's so fucking hard to understand how they're talking about, because we said, what was it, like a 2-hour meeting where they're sitting there talking, arguing over 2 seconds and a fraction of a fucking second. And even though the times are
it's crazy, dude. They argue over fractions of seconds.
2 seconds, I understand, possibly. Fraction of a second, go fuck yourself.
No,
that's less than a blink of an eye.
I'm telling you.
No. So the
Well, I mean, when you extrapolate that over
I guess, but if that's an action for one. It's a single fraction for one action.
No. Let me explain it. Because I remember this one because I told people I was like, dude, EWS is so fucking hard to understand because so that 2% that they're arguing about, our engineers were saying the fatigue time isn't built into you obviously get tired throughout the day, right? So you slow down, so then it should give you a little bit more time on each order, even though it says 5 minutes, but 5 minutes at the beginning of the shift, you'll pull it like in 4 minutes, but 5 minutes at the end of a 10-hour shift, you'll probably pull that like in 6 minutes. So what they were saying is you need to build in a percentage in there to lenient, but the company was saying like, no, you get 2% a day. That's all you get for the whole day, 2%. That's
We're not robots. That's
2%
That's fucking crazy.
Yeah. Which is, in all honesty, is not fair.
You're fucking it up, guy.
One of the things that they did in the UPS contract, I know we said we wouldn't talk about it, but one of the things that they did, and it's been there for a while, one of the things that they have is age and ability language.
Yes.
So, obviously a 20-year-old guy like me when I was young, running and fucking jumping over bushes and shit and delivering packages is a lot different than a 55, 60-year-old guy who's been doing it for 30 years and his fucking knees hurt, and you know what I mean? It's just different.
2 shoulder surgeries.
Yeah, so it's just different. So, I mean, that's one of the things that they added, and it's maybe something that you guys can look in next contract. I know you guys, your contract is coming up, right?
Standard. We don't need a standard.
Yeah, right? Just
just make sure the work's out at the end of the day.
Look at fair days work for fair days pay.
Well, see, that's what the company said. They said 2%. They said that's all you get for fatigue. Our engineer said, fuck that. So our engineers came in, they studied the certain sections. Now, they laid out the sections, and anyone listening from CVS, we that know those sections that are bad, we're not going to fucking put it out there, but we know it. With the sections that they were arguing, some of them were fucking far off. I mean, there was a couple of them that were like 5% off, but there was some. What was the worst one? Like 32% was one of them. Was 32% off.
Wow.
Yeah. So then, what our engineers were saying, like, no, you get 2%. I believe it was not per order. Per hour.
It should be progressional.
No, it's like per hour.
Yeah.
Our engineers saying you get 2% per hour because how you're selecting all the shit you're doing, you get 2% per hour, 2% more each hour. And the company engineer said, no, it's only 2% per day. So I'm sitting there like listening to a fucking 2% thing, like going, what the fuck's going on? And then they bring up this, I forget what the fuck it was, but it was like something it was a simple move or something about like how they scanned it in. And they were talking about 0.5 fucking seconds. Wow. And
half a second.
Yeah, half a second. And our engineers were saying, well, where the fuck did the half a second? Well, they didn't say what the fuck, where the fuck, but they said where the half a second go? Yeah.
But it's crazy.
Yeah, and then the company engineer saying like, no, it's already in there, it's built in. But like, no, and like they're going back and forth. I'm sitting there going, what the fuck? I look over at one of the morning shift manager. I hate to put him on blast, but it was fucking funny because like I'm looking over going like, what the fuck's going on? I'm trying to take notes like, what are these guys arguing about? I look over at the morning shift manager.
Asleep. He's asleep.
Straight up. Hey,
I wish you could say his name. We won't say it, but fuck. Hey, shout out to you falling asleep in the meeting. Yeah.
That's fucking
it's
great.
crazy.
You should have put shades on him too.
Yeah.
The glasses with the eyes awake.
That would have been great.
The glasses with the eyes awake and shit.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm no engineer, but like,
Yeah,
here's also part of the problem though. So these guys are like, they're engineers, right? Yeah. They've never actually done the labor. Yeah. They only know the math behind certain mechanics. Like they need to do.
Hey, that sounds like somebody I know.
They need to experience the work.
Your manager?
They need to experience the work so they know exactly what
he
the
just looks
fatigue
at it
rate
on
is
a
like.
computer screen and he goes,
Exactly.
yeah,
It's doable.
look,
Exactly.
Yeah,
you
that's doable.
No,
That's doable.
My computer said you should be able to do it in 5 seconds. You're like,
I'm not gonna put them on blast right here.
I've never done it in 5 seconds, but
but it can
my
be done.
computer said.
But I'm just saying that like they don't understand the work. They don't understand what it's like to be fatigued.
Yeah.
You know, so they're just saying like, oh, it should be 2% for the entire day.
Yeah.
That would be accurate for like somebody in top physical shape, maybe, but like or a robot. But that's not going to go for the average person. There's no way we get fatigued.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
imagine moving
There's no way.
imagine moving like 50, 40-pound packages from one pallet to another. You do that through the course of a day. Of course, at the end of the day, you're going to be very fatigued. So it's like it needs to be progressional. There's no way that 2% is going to fucking work through the whole fucking day.
Yeah, so
it's not reasonable.
So like the way I mean, like the biggest one, and this is why I give James a lot of fucking respect. It was when we're in there, he walked in with some knowledge, and this is before I assume before he took his EWS classes that he took for the IBT and all that stuff. He walked in and said, "Okay, educate me." So he's sitting there listening to the fucking argument. Then he gets up, and while they're arguing, the company engineer is saying some shit, and then James looks at him because he finally understood it, and he made the argument of arguments, and I said, "Fuck!" Like I mean, like not to kiss his ass, but I was like, ooh, I like when he gets angry. So like he's, you know,
Hey, you know what? James is gonna be watching this. He's gonna be like, "Oh yeah, I like that." He's gonna inflate his head even bigger. He's gonna be
I
like,
was
"Yeah,
like,
that's
he made my
right."
nuts tingle.
no, but I was though, because
Alex,
I was like, because I sat there, and these guys are arguing, and out of the dark comes out James. He goes, "So you're telling me?" And he's talking to the guy, the engineer is no longer with the company, but he says he can bleep his name or whatever. He's like, "So you're telling me this and that?" And then like, "Yeah." And he goes, "No." He tells the guy, the engineer, he's like, I think his name was Tom or something like that. He was like, "Hey Tom, am I saying this right?" He says it, and the guy says, "Yeah." So then James looks at says, "No, you just lost all credibility with me." He's like, "We're done right here because this is how it works." And I'm like, Jesus Christ, how the fuck did James pick this shit up? Like, I'm on a whim, you know what I mean?
Hey,
like,
stop blowing his head up, bro.
All right, I'll stop. All right, James. The ass kissing to James.
Shout out to James Lopez.
Yeah, shout out James
out
Lopez.
James.
Love you.
Got Alex over
AKA
here.
Skinny.
AKA Skinny. Got Alex over here blowing his ego off, like poking
Blowing his ego. I don't think it's his ego. Well, hey, I guess look, let's move on.
this is a family-friendly show.
Yeah,
Let's move on
family-friendly.
from work.
Yeah.
You know, we've been talking enough about work. I want to get in. We're running.
One real quick.
What's up?
I'm sorry.
Yeah.
So
No,
speaking
for it.
about family-friendly show, so I wanted to tell this.
Oh, here we go.
So one of the managers, the managers that do watch the show, shout out to you guys again. Dazed and Confused, you're watching. So he said, he goes, the only problem with you guys' show is you guys say fuck a lot, you guys cuss a lot, and we're like, it's a Teamster show.
Yeah.
Teamster show.
It's a fucking Teamster
The fuck
show.
is he
The fuck
talking
is
about?
swear a lot.
Fuck.
Jeez.
Fuck.
Fuck.
Oh, shucks, dazed and confused.
So with him finding out, this is how we found out with them watching the show was because I forgot. They made me go select one day, of course. In the 2 years that I was, instead of doing recoup, I'm over there selecting. They pulled me off, and he tells me, "Hey, we gotta get this batch done. We can all go home." And at the time, it was a 10-hour shift, but they said, "Hey, we can get done in 9 or less." And when they say 9 or less, it means 8.5, more than likely 8 hours. Yeah. So I said, "All right." And he used to pull me specifically because, I mean, when I want to work, I can fucking work. I could be his fucking rock star and go in there and fucking pull a 150 in there.
Yeah.
So he pulled me in.
Be a
said,
company man. That's what he's saying.
You know, so I went in there. He said, like, "Hey, can you get this batch out?" So I
Work
fucking
harder,
went in there.
not smarter.
I fucking went in there and I busted my ass. I came out and I said, "Hey, man, like, I do need some downtime. You know, how far am I off?" And he goes, 11 minutes. I'm like, "Let me get 11 minutes." He goes, "Well, why do you need 11 minutes?" I'm like, "Why not? Just give me the 11 minutes." And then he just goes, "All right, I'll do you a favor. Just do me a favor." I said, "Well, what's the favor?" He goes, "Next time you guys are in a JLM meeting, which is union and upper management."
Yeah.
He goes, "Don't mention me." And I'm like, Dazed and Confused. I'm not gonna say his name, but Dazed and Confused. I would never say your name in a meeting. I was like, we never have. I was like, your module gets the least complaints. You're doing a damn good job. I would never mention your name in a meeting or anywhere else. He goes, "What about the union podcast?" I'm like, "Wait, what?"
Hey, the whole day he was like, "Oh my god, bro, I gotta go back and check to see what."
No, dude,
It's not bad, bro.
No one's putting you on blast.
No,
If anything, that's a compliment.
No. And I was like, what do you mean the Union podcast? He goes, Dazed and Confused, really? I was like, dude, my face got fucking like so serious. And mind you, we're walking to the next module. And then one of the other supervisors was right there. He goes like, "Hey man, you can bleep his name out. Hey, tell him how he's not watching that we don't watch the Union podcast." I'm like, "You watch it too?" He goes, "Yeah, we all watch it." I was like, "What the fuck?"
Hey, shout out to you guys. Thanks for the views. Yeah, I really appreciate it.
And then,
hey man, maybe you should try and get the Union tattoo.
Yeah, if you guys want to jump on, just let me know.
No, here's the funniest one. He goes, like, "Oh, Alex, you're over there saying that over here look like a dirty hippie," and then
we're gonna have to bleep his name out.
Now we're gonna have to bleep his name out because you just said
a lot of work on this one.
No. So then Dazed and Confused goes, "No, that was Gary."
Oh shit! You guys are gonna get in trouble.
So real quick side story before we move on to the beer real fast. So what the funniest thing was is that Dazed and Confused gave me the most underlining way that a month prior that they were watching the podcast, and only one way was same deal. He pulled me to go select. I did my shit, and I was done. And it was an 8.5 hour shift, and I was done like at 8:35 or some shit like that. 8 hours and 35 minutes. I was 1:35. I said, "Hey man, can I go? I already finished everything." He goes, No. You guys, we got to finish everything together. I'm like, "Nah, I finished my job. Like, can I go?" He goes, "No." He's like, "We're a team here. There's no I in team, Alex." I'm like, "Well, there's an M and an E in that motherfucker, and that spells me." And so then he said, "Spoken like a true Teamster." I thought about it after the first show that we came on together. The title of that fucking podcast was "Spoken Like a True Teamster." I was like, and he put it out there. I was like, "Fuck, I should have known then." But I was just laughing about it. So I was like,
that is funny. Wow. That is very
well,
funny.
like I said, shout out to CVS management. Thank you guys for tuning in.
Yeah, thank you for taking the time out of your busy
We appreciate the views. Cheers to you. I'm sure you guys are watching while everybody else is working.
All right.
Ouch.
Oh shit.
Well, so look, let's get to some recreational stuff, some off the clock stuff. I have what seems to be a beer in my hand. You want to tell us a little bit about this, Alex?
"Well, yeah, this is the beer for you guys. This is for the podcast. This is the official beer of the podcast right there."
Wow.
It is a mango IPA, but I dialed it down like I talked to you guys, so I dialed it down. Okay. Me and Josh Peterson, we did some hopping methods, more like a hazy. So it's like it's not hazy, but
I love hazies,
so it's not hazy. But what we did was we made an IPA, and then we just used the hopping methods of an IPA. So we put the first hops in like a regular IPA, so you're gonna get a little bite, but it's gonna finish off like without that hit in the back of your
smooth.
Yeah, smoother. So
fuck yeah.
And then we threw
Juicy?
in like so then we threw in like 5 pounds of mango in there, mango puree. So I thought of a name, and the name. So I thought of a name, and I was like, excuse me. The name that I thought of was the one I liked was James's. I hate to say it. James's fucking license plate. It's 95 Deuce. But because you're thinking, 952. But I was thinking, for a beer, 95 Juice. And hold on, and let me tell you about this. It's a triple entendre. So it's 95 Juice, 952. It's the juice you drink after your 9 to 5, and potentially it's a 9.5 juice. So.
Oh, if this is 9.5,
potentially,
I'm gonna crack this and pour us here. Open yours over there. We are going to share this. This is the first time we've ever tried this.
Tell me if it
no
sucks.
one's tried this.
I'm so excited.
Me and George
the last beer that you gave us.
I'm a rookie on this.
The last beer that you gave us was so fucking good. Like, I liked how it has so full of flavor, and the spice.
Oh, the habanero, yeah.
The habanero was good.
Man, I wish Savas was here to enjoy this beer.
You don't like head?
I like head. I'd like to have some beer with my head, though.
I'd like to have some head with my beer.
Jesus
Don't
Christ,
we all?
dude. This is a family fucking show.
Hey, listen to CVS management. We got to stop cussing.
That's right. I'm sorry, guys. I'm sorry. If you guys were letting your kids watch, that's not good.
Please don't let your children watch this show.
So I'm not gonna lie. So I've had. So I made 2 cases.
Tell us a little bit about it.
Yeah.
So
Tell us
you
about the
obviously told us how
process.
the beer was made, but
Well, this one I got it from years ago. Founders. It's a brewery. They came out with their own. It's called.
It smells good.
Please get that part of the video. Please get that part of the video.
This
you guys.
smells so fucking good.
dude,
Please. All right. So Founders came out. So Founders came.
I mean, I'm not a beer drinker, but
Gary doesn't drink, and he's having this.
I always drink his beers though.
you guys,
Yeah,
look,
because
it
he makes
looks-
good shit,
look,
apparently,
if you guys,
right?
I don't know how
This
well
smells
you guys can
so
see it
fucking good.
on the camera, but it almost looks like a hazy, right?
So what the way that I made this one was the recipe for this one was years ago. Founders came out with the beer called the Mangosaic or something like that. Or no, it was Mangosaic Promise or some shit like that. It was when the Smash Ale was a hit in the brewing community. It's one malt, one hop. So I looked at it and I said, well, all right. So I was like, I figured out it was Golden Promise and Mosaic hops. So it was a Mosaic Promise. That's what it was called, Mosaic Promise.
Okay.
And so I'm looking at it and I was reading the back and it said like, oh, it tastes like mango. So I tasted it. I'm like, oh, it's good. But then I learned how to make a Smash Ale. I'm like, you know what? I'm going to steal that. So it's Golden Promise, Mosaic hops. But I'm going to throw fucking mangoes in that bitch. Why have it taste like mango?
Yeah. Why not let it be mango?
Yeah.
And I was like, and I'll make it better. And you know what? I've been making it ever since then. I'm giving it to you guys.
See, look, we're ready. Cheers. Thank you very much to the show. Off the clock shop talk beer. That's right.
You guys can say it sucks.
Why?
Wow.
That's pretty fucking good, dude.
That's solid, bro.
I dig this.
It's like
That's
I was
good.
It's juicy. It definitely has some mango flavor in there. That's fucking wild.
I'll say it has a lot of. It's a very juicy,
Yeah.
mild IPA.
But it tastes good.
Super
this is
good.
fucking really good.
So
No.
how's it right now during the heat?
This is
This is exactly what I would want to drink right now. It's
Yeah.
refreshing.
Thank you.
No, it's good.
That's kind of what we talked about before about being.
and Gary.
like something
I mean,
refreshing.
I don't want to be the one, responsible for making you fall off the wagon.
Oh, I'm an alcoholic
When's the
now.
last time you had a beer?
Oh, not that long. Like maybe 3 months, 4 months.
Okay. Well,
really?
So you have,
cheers
like-
to Gary.
like a beer every
He's
once
not
in a
going to
while?
fall off the
Yeah.
wagon.
Don't worry. I'm not an alcoholic. All right.
Look, let's
He's
talk.
just
We got
traded.
a lot of stuff coming up. We are not allowed to raffle off beer. Okay. We're thinking about giving away a bottle that could potentially be sealed. I don't know.
It'll be a bottle like this, and there'll be a label on here,
Yeah.
and that's it.
We're thinking about giving away one of our labeled bottles. We'll figure that part out.
Plus, you can also come be on the show and have some.
Yeah, but please tune in, share, like, subscribe, all those good things. Cheers, guys. Tattoo giveaway. We got that coming up. We're still trying to work out some fine
in the works.
details.
It's in the works.
Please, I don't know that we have the interest yet to do a whole giveaway. It's going to be kind of expensive for us because our budget is zero, so we kind of pitch in all the money for the show. But that being said, if you guys are interested in the tattoo giveaway, please comment. We'll put up a post on Instagram. Maybe you guys can comment on that to try to get some interest.
Yeah.
Both of these guys are interested.
Yeah.
So they would be, willing to get a Teamster tattoo, but we don't want to just give away to people on the show. We'd like to get our
Yeah, we want to know
audience.
if the audience is interested. That's the
Yeah.
whole point.
Comment on the YouTube video. Comment on this video. Hey, interested. I'd be willing to get a Teamster tattoo. If we can get enough interest, we will definitely give away a Teamster tattoo. We already have the same artist who did this. The one that George showed last week on the show. And we'll go from there. But thank you so much, Alex. To me, this is like kind of above and beyond. We never thought ever we would have a beer. We would have a new logo, which we will be unveiling soon.
Hey, thank
Yes,
you.
the new logo is coming soon.
Thank you guys for having me on. Thank you guys
you
for
so much.
thank you guys for listening to me talk rant about beer. So
Oh, dude, we love it. Gary, you're on the show.
Yeah, hey, fuck Savas. I'm in his fucking seat right now, drinking this beer. He's over there doing whatever he's
His
doing.
non beer.
George. Close us out.
I said just a quick shout out. Full Offense, my band, my homies band, Full Offense. They're gonna be playing a show out in Simi Valley, at a skate park. I'll send you the flyers. So
send me the flyer and I'll put it up.
We're gonna try this beer off the show, just so you guys know. We're gonna finish this one, but this beer is made why?
Yeah, so for them it's a tangerine. Same concept. It's a smash ale tangerine IPA. For them, that one's called. I'll get you the name on it later. But they're going to release it at their show on the 29th of September out in a skate park in Simi Valley. And another shout out would be for Naked Aggression. They're the biggest band I'm going to be working with, and I'm going to give them not one but 2 beers. And that one, it's going to come soon. I'll do it on my page, and you guys will see that one.
Real quick, can you share your page with our people?
I really don't have a page. I mean, if you guys want to follow my page, it's I'll give you guys.
It's like your personal page.
Yeah, I mean, if you guys follow that page, you're gonna see not only me brewing on there, but it's mainly just me and my bulldog just like fucking around all day. So
and cooking.
You gotta
food.
you gotta bring the mascot up here sometime.
Oh, I know. I gotta bring. I was supposed to bring her today.
She's adorable.
So on my page, yeah, you get me smoking, me brewing beer, my bulldog, and just me hanging out. So I mean, But as far out, I mean, I'll give you guys the updates so you guys can see when the beers are coming out, and whoever wants a beer, I mean, come down. Maybe I might have at the next meeting. You know what? Fuck it. At the next meeting, maybe I might have a batch in the back of my car. And if you guys, some of you Teamsters that want to come on enjoy a beer with me, come out.
Oh, shit. Any local.
Oh shit.
Any local.
Shit. Any local. I'm talking to you, Victor.
Except for Sabas.
396, that means you guys.
Except for Sabas, he can't join.
Oh, shit.
Well, he doesn't drink real beer, apparently. So
Yeah, you don't need to worry about
he drinks that aluminum water.
Okay, he doesn't like man beer. Anyways, but thank you guys for tuning in. We appreciate you guys every week. We always say it. Thank you guys. Obviously we're just this show was a little bit lighter. We wanted to, just have some fun. We've been really serious for a couple weeks. Thank you, Alex. Gary, you're the new co-host. Thank you for fucking tuning in.
Yeah.
Close us out, George.
Please like, share, subscribe. Put in the comments what maybe what you enjoyed about the show, something that's happening inside of your barn. You could also email us at ocst.000@gmail. Put in anything you want in there.
Interest
Pictures,
in the tattoo.
interest in the tattoo. Definitely interest in tattoo. We're trying to figure out if the members would like to have that. So just hit us up. Oh, I'm sorry. Follow us on Instagram, ocst.952. Same thing. Follow us on Instagram. Let us know whether or not you have interest in the tattoo giveaway. That's basically it.
Like, share, subscribe. Thank you guys for tuning in.
See ya.
See you next week.